So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Pistol Racing here for the final round of the championships here in the DRS Active League, and as all should be, it's going to be at one of my favourite tracks, as I like to call it, Abu Dhabi. So good evening, Adam. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for watching the stream. So where are we? We have got quite an interesting situation shaping up. Casto currently leads the championship with 24.5 point advantage over JimStrav. I can see Casto has already retired from the session now. I don't know if he is serving a quali ban or if he is trying to make things interesting. But essentially, Jim needs to win. He needs fastest lap. And, well, if Casto finishes in the points and Jim does not get fastest lap, the championship is Casto's. If Casto does not get the fastest lap, he needs to finish 9th. We've got 18 runners today here at Abu Dhabi, and I'm sitting on board with Rude Boy Liam, who has just set the fastest lap, 1:37.274, beaten by his teammate by 0.07 of a second. Who else am I going to watch out for? Let's have a look at the Irish, Polish, Bulgarian Pat as he starts his fast lap. Just coming round to the end, start of sector 2. Of course, my eyes tonight will be on Jim and Casto. Unfortunately, we're seeing that Elise has dropped out of the title race, who has some amazing pace. I'm sure he's going to be up there in at least the top 5 here for this. I mean, is this a street? Like, it kind of feels a bit like a street circuit, but I mean, it's not. It's a track. So we'll see. Who is that, Robert? Alright, Beach Championship is already decided in Casto champ. No, he's not, because he's 24.5 points ahead. Casto retires today, and looking at the standings anyway, let's have a quick look at this. So where are the standings? Here we go. No, they're not decided, Robert, because Jim is 24.5 points behind Casto. Now, if Casto did retire and Jim got first, he would win by half a point. So the championship race is still on. We got Pat coming around the last corners now, and we should be up for an interesting battle today. Obviously, Casto has decided to is sitting out this qualifying. I'm not sure if that's a quali ban, like I said, but the championship is far from decided. I mean, it is kind of, but there's still mathematics possibility. Now we can see Pat in the other McLaren, Casto's teammate, is up in pole for nearly 0.4 of a second ahead of Mounted Swan. Now let's have a quick look. Where is our Aiden? Has invalidated his fast lap, so Street Boy is still on it. Street Boy picking up a well-deserved 8 points last Sunday. Some great driving there by Street Boy to pick up some points. It was a very interesting race last Sunday. Let's hope for another one today. Just to confirm, Robert, I'm going off of the standings in the Discord. So if someone else would like to correct me here, but I'm seeing a 24.5 point disadvantage between Jim and Casto. So if someone else would like to correct, go for it. Anyway, moving back on. Where is Street Boy going to land himself now? This is not going to do much. It's a 1:39.6. How about Aiden? Aiden going for another fast lap. Not a bad line there through the chicane. Heading down the second DRS straight, we have got so moving Alfa Romeo in sector 1. Decent braking. Good lines there, hugging through the tight right left hand as we come up to the penultimate corner. What is this going to be for Aiden? Up to 6th on a 137.3. Pippin, Spurs Crazy, and George and Gino. So Jim's still in the pit. Who else have we got? We've got Jacko on a fast lap. We're in sector 3 now. This isn't going to be, I'm presuming there's been some issue around the lap. Jacko will be coming in quite late. I called Deo and the Aston Martin has invalidated. Who else have we got? I can only presume Jacko is going to go for another fast lap, so let's sit on board with the Alpine driver and see how he does tonight. To lift off the throttle there. Turn, I believe it's turn 3. Very hard. You get the wrong line or you catch that curb and it's going to be a DNF unless you're really, you do quite a good job. Now I can see George SSJ has retired. He has lost it out the last turn and is out of this session with a 1:37.5. It's not a bad time. Let's see. The ideal for me, this is a defensive track, even though we've got 2 very long DRS straights. Jacko losing a little bit there out of the chicane, but this is a defensive track for me, and starting 11th is probably better than starting, I would say, 5th or 6th, because you're going to get the free option of tyres. Everyone, I believe, right now qualifying on the softs. Yep, on the softs. So let's see, George may actually be able to make up for that. For that 8th place, well, for that retirement. If he does drop to 11th, then he gets free choice of tyres. Let's see. The beauty of short qualifying. Decent lines there by Jacko, but having to come off the throttle quite early in a bit of inconsistent power delivery as he heads towards the final corner. And as we approach the finish line, it's going to be a 1:39.369, good enough to surpass Street Boy. As we see, Gino has retired out the last corner as well. Wow, a lot of drivers losing it. And yeah, Gino, 1 wheel less, so Gino also potentially going to get free choice of tyres, having set a fast lap. We can see Spurs Crazy just starting his fast lap. Let's sit on board with Spurs. I thought he was going to lose there. That was a very aggressive line through that corner. 17.5, 2 tenths down on his first sector time previously. So as things stand right now, with just 7 minutes to go, we have got Pat Verstappen in first, Elise in second, just 12 thousandths of a second behind the McLaren driver. Coop in third, Mounted Swan and Rude Boy Liam in fourth and fifth in the Haasers. Aiden in sixth, Spurs in seventh, George and Gino in eighth and ninth respectively, but have retired, and Rakan in 10th. Spurs, let's see, where is his sector 2 time going to come about? And we are looking at 2 tenths down. A great second sector there by Spurs, half a second improvement on himself, and losing a bit of time there catching the curve. Got to be so careful with the curves around these circuits. They are very raised and will cost you time, a bit like Monza. Beautiful line there through these 3 turns. Getting on the throttle not too early. Decent power delivery there. Great exit, could have maybe got a bit more power as we head towards the penultimate corner, and a great line there. The last corner takes a lot of curb there, but doesn't lose it, and we're going to be Spurs up to second. Wow, 5 thousandths of a second behind Pat. Oh my goodness, 12 thousandths of a second separating the top 3. That was an amazing lap from the Red Bull driver. What a lap there by Spurs Crazy. Of course, I have to sit on board with JimStrav, championship contender. Casto will be starting from the back theoretically, as I remember Adam saying he will do too. He prefers to sit at the back anyway. So let's see what can Jim do through sector 2. Not wasting any time with mediums, just going straight on the softs, going for it. Hugging the inside line. moves out, and a 58.346. Not a bad second sector there, but not a purple second sector. However, some decent curb riding there. Oh, takes a lot of that curb, and that is going to cost him severely in regards to the top three. As we see, I call Daya. Oh, that was also, and Jim abandoning this lap. Is he going to go again is the question. I call Daya now up to 4th, and at least a 1:36.527. The Alfa Romeo driver taking provisional pole position. Now that was a very wide line from Jim there, and he's gonna, I'm sure this is going to be an invalidated lap. No, wow, okay. So let's see what Jim can do, but he's had to back off because of Rakan. And I think that's already his lap over. That is already his lap over. Drakan as well, apparently, on 3 lap on softs. I can't understand this. Why using the same tyres for quality? You've got we've got 3 or 4 sets of softs. I'm personally doing 1 lap on each set because the tyre deck around this track is insane. I think it's about lap 5 or 6 you're going to be pitting off of the softs. So but let's sit on board with Liam. He's coming around to the penultimate corner. Great lines there. Not taking too much of the curb. And he does now pit. So, just a few minutes to go of qualifying. We've got Elise in first, but we've got Pat now on his fast lap. Let's see what can Pat do as he does improve. Is he going to go for another fast lap to try and get back that pole? No, he has invalidated. So, Pat improving by 1.5 tenths on his previous lap. Just a 10.5 now behind Elise in the Alfa Romeo. So we got on the lap. We got Coop, Mounted Swan. Let's sit on board with Mounted Swan, who's currently coming through sector 1. Great line there out of turn 4, and a 10.5 up. Doesn't sound like much, but in a 17 second, that is a fantastic effort there by the Haas driver. Good line there out of the turn. Down the long DRS straight, hitting a 200 miles an hour, not something the Haas drivers would be used to in real life. Good line there, slightly compromised exit though, and that's going to avoid allowing to not get on the throttle as quick, but really hugging the inside line as he heads towards the outside. And we're now losing 0.3 of a second there in that second sector and putting him down on his current time. Now Gino and George both still in the top 10, so would be sitting on their current softs. Rakan in 11th would have primo selection. But I don't see Mounted Swan as he does invalidate that lap. So we're on board with Coop now. Oh, Pat is on. Is Pat on another flying lap? Pat is on another flying lap. Wow. Yeah, he's going to have to go throttle, and that will cost him this lap. So we've got Coop. Let's sit on board with Coop. He's halfway through the second sector, heading down the long DRS straight. Beautiful lines there through that chicane, gets right to the left. And where is Coop now? He's not improved on his current time, but he's only 26 thousandths of a second down, and that was a purple middle sector for him. So I'm presuming this was a bad first sector into a very good second sector. So let's see what can Coop do. Matty Pitt rooting on Street Boy, who's currently sitting in 13th. And as we head towards, that would have cost him some time. That was a very tight line, and he would have had to get off the throttle early to make that. But where are we going to be? Coop not improving. Oh, he does by 62 thousandths, so giving himself a little bit more space between the between himself and Mounted Swan. But Aiden Black right up into second with a 1:36.635. Let's see Pat Verstappen. He's just starting his hot lap now. And Pat is around. Pat around after turn 1, but holds it. Is he going to get any Alfa Romeo? No, he does not. So I'm bored with Rude Body. I can't imagine Coupe going for another fine lap on that set of tyres, but what is Rude Body going to do coming up to the top of Sector 2? Is this an in-lap? I have a feeling it is. Nope, he's three tenths up on his current time, which would potentially move him up to 5th ahead of the Aston Martin driver. Let's see what can he do with his final sector. As we are now, that's quali over. Wow, that was kind of quick. So quali is over, and oh, that was a great recovery, but that's going to be an invalidation. No, wow. But all of this is costing Rude Body in time, and Rakan getting in the way. This is a disaster for Liam coming through the last few turns, and this is not going to be an improvement, is it? No, it's not. It's only a very slight improvement. Does not improve his position, no. Where is Pat? Pat has given the lap up. Aiden coming over the line, and it's a... Whoa! My God! 13 thousandths of a second separating Elise and Aiden. Wow. Worth noting, JimStrav did not take his chance to gain a lap, to get a lap in. So JimStrav, the king of comebacks, yes, but he's going to be starting in 15th, only 2 places ahead of his championship rival. I mean, if this was the race to try and get up there and, you know, make it very hard for Casto, this was it. And Jim just, after his first attempt, didn't bother. I mean, I don't understand it, but it is what it is. So I believe we still got Pat on a lap. Let's sit on board with Pat, who is coming into the pit. So that is qualifying over, guys. We've only had 13 out of 18 drivers set a time, with Imni Azza, JimStrav, Adam, Casto and Ollie not setting time. So we've got Elise starting in pole, just 13 thousandths of a second separating him from Aiden Black. Pat is in 3rd in the McLaren, Spurs in 4th. I called Deo in 5th, Coupe in 6th, Mounted Swan and Rude Body in 7th and 8th in the Haas. So they're my favourite team, so I do just combine them both. George in 9th and Gino in 10th. So running through the rest of the grid, we got Rakan in 11th, Street Boy in 12th and Jacko in 13th. As I said, 5 drivers failing to set times, but at least I'm sure he's going to want to make up. Even though he's out of the championship race, he's going to want to finish the season on a high. So let's see. We will very shortly be getting going with the race. Are there any incidents? Let's have a look. Let's have a very quick look. So I didn't see any that required time penalties. Also, I hope everyone is enjoying the stream. I know it's only myself today. I'm really sorry CDM couldn't join, but he does have a family issue. So we will shortly be getting going here with this 50% race here at Abu Dhabi for the season finale of the DRS Active League. You have got pistol racing on comms throughout the entirety of this session. Hope you guys are enjoying it, and if you are, please do give a like and subscribe to my channel. You will get instant notifications when I go live with DRS and purple sector races. So for 5 lights here for the season finale at Abu Dhabi, and we are go. Well, I've seen enough. Tower getting very wide, but at least shoots off the line. I think Aiden, wow, 4 abreast into turn 1 between the Aston Martin, and just wow, Aiden holding on to 2nd. I called Dale up to 3rd, Pat up to 4th, Coupe up to 5th, and Mounted Swan losing out, but who? Spurs crazy down to 10th. The Red Bull driver has had a terrible start. Does he have, as we see Gino is around, and down to last, Casto in 18th, Gino is 16th, Jim up to 13th. Let's have a now, let's get some data. Where are we position wise? And position change, wow, I mean Ollie already up 6 places, Rakan up 4, tyres, where are tyres? Now let's have a look. Oh, what a line there by Spurs to gain 9th. and now he's going to be chasing down Mantis 1. There's a 2-second gap. He is going to want to get within DRS range for this. And there's one hell of a battle between these guys. Wow, you got 4. Oh, a Street Boy runs very wide into the chicane. Wow, what a view. This is wheel-to-wheel battle. We've got only 4 drivers, surprisingly enough, choosing to start on the mediums. Casto, Street Boy, Ollie and Rakan. Jim on the mediums, on the softs, up to 11th now. Jim needed to make headway here. I mean, if he does not win, the championship is over. The championship is over. So, let's see what happens here. Jim getting very edgy out of the penultimate turn there, and losing, I'd say, at least half a second to Ollie on the medium tyres. So, I mean, what is the ideal strategy around here? It depends on if you're an attacker or a defender. For me, as a defender, it's medium soft, a medium hard, sorry. And so we'll see. Obviously, everyone has their preferences, but at least already over a second ahead of 1.6 seconds ahead of Aiden. Aiden closing under the straight, but Pat in 4th, right on the back of Deo, and you've got the other Aston Martin of George to spun out. George has spun out of the chicane. He got on the photo, a bit of photo happy, and has gone from 5th to 12th. So let's sit on board with Cooper and Pat. I think I saw Rakan up the inside of Mantis 1 in the Ferrari, already up 5 places in the Ferrari and on medium tyres. So a perfect strategy, and I think we'll see Rakan out in front here for the Ferrari team. I'd say within 5 to 6 laps. So let's sit on board now. We're going to move ahead. Let's go aerial view. And we've got Pat, who is very soon going to be defending from Coop. Pat out of DRS strain. We've already got 2 drivers with penalties. Have we? I think we've had a few pit stops. We've had Spurs, Street Boy and Adam all pitting, as well as Rude Boy Liam. So not a great start for the Haas drivers, both of whom did... Aiden Black is out. Aiden is out. He has lost it. And it's a VSC. We've got a VSC. Aiden has lost it. Very unfortunate there for the league owner, Alpine driver. But that is a treacherous corner. I myself have lost it around that corner in the lead of a race. So we are now under VSC. Will not give the back drivers a chance to catch up. I'm very surprised that Street Boy has chosen to go onto the softs for his second stint. But where are we? Right, so we've got Rakan now up to 5th, 4 seconds behind Coop, 3 seconds ahead of Jacko. And DRS has been enabled. We are back racing. So let's see, DRS situation. Jacko has already utilised most of his. JimStrav now up to 7th. Casto 13th. But Jim needs to go aggressive and he needs to get those places back. Like I said, anything less than a win, and this championship is Casto's. So let's see what happens here. Jim on the back of Jacko. Will he be able to make a move before the next DRS straights? Of course, sitting behind the driver will give him that advantage, but on the DRSs, but you've got to think, are you a quicker driver? Can you pull out that second before the DRS straights? And if you can, you got to go for it. Jim running a little bit wide for at least 3 seconds ahead of Deo in second, and Pat in third, 1.5 seconds. So we've got a bit of a train. Well, by a bit I mean like 5 drivers. All the way back to George. Only Amiaza out of DRS strain, out of the DRS, but that's going to make it interesting because Amiaza is going to want to catch up to the likes of Ollie. And what a line there by George, gaining on the out, and he goes down the inside. What a line! And only has a given space. Only as it was in AI, and George now with DRS and the position is going to give him a chance to catch up to Ollie. He won't have DRS for the second straight, but already 9 tenths ahead of Niaza. A fantastic line there by George. Up from now, I believe he went down to 13th and is now in 10th. Jim in 6th. He did manage to get past Jacko in that DRS straight, but at least just running away with this. I mean, Jim has got 13 seconds, if I'm not wrong, to catch up to the 11.9 seconds to catch up to Elise, which is what he needs to do. We've got a yellow flag. We've got a Renault. Is that a Renault? No, it's a Williams. It's Aiden Black. Aiden Black has now retired. So is this on track or in the pits? I think it's in the pits. Yeah, it's an in the pits retirement from Adam, which has brought a yellow flag in the sector. Jim now setting the fastest lap of the race at 1:46.30. We're on board with Coop, who is within DRS range of Pat. Will he be able to keep it coming through this chicane? The answer to that being just. So Coop in a very good position. I mean, I dread to think what the DRS is worth, but I think we're about to find out. So 1.2 seconds, bam. George is out, and we have a safety car. A safety car, lap 5. Perfect time for these soft runners to pit and get the full effect. Is it going to be a soft to hard strategy? Is it going to be a Lewis strategy? Soft to hard. But George was doing so well, progressing through the field, and is now out. So what are the soft drivers going to do? Are we going to see them all pit? I think we should. This is a high deck track, and I called Dale running very softly there. What happened there with Deo? He doesn't have a teammate to fall back to, but in second place, it can't. Maybe it is like a like he had to drop his delta, but I mean that was very wide. I thought he was going to run off the track. Let's see, what does everyone do? Pat in the pits. Deo is staying out. That is interesting. Deo, so he will take the lead of the race. Elise in the pits. Pat in the pits. Coop in the pits. What about Rakan? Rakan knows the price has continued on the mediums. Let's see what the field does look like. A lot of drivers entering the pits. Even drivers on medium tyres. Interesting. So, I have a Ferrari 2-3 right behind the Aston Martin on very soft and worn tyres. They're going to be 9 laps old, these tyres. I can't see how much longer Deo is going to be able to run these and make it advantageous. I presume he might be banking on another safety car. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see what the race brings. I think that's a very hefty gamble to take from the Aston Martin driver. As well as Niaza, 5 lap old softs. I know they're new softs, so they've got about 3 laps worth of life in them more. But risky, yeah. Gino's setting out on the hards. I think Gino is intending a one-stop strategy because the softs will last for 20 laps. Just going to take a very quick break, guys, before we get started. Resuming with the after the safety car. Thank you. And we are back racing here at the DRS actively, and I have just been corrected, so I do apologise. The championship is Casto, so it's the 27.8. So let's just have a look. Let's see what's going to happen then with the race. We've got a Ferrari 1-3 at least in second, having already jumped the Ferrari. Eicheldale leaving it right to the last lap of the safety car to pit. I don't quite understand this, but okay. So let's see what the drivers can do here. Which would make sense as to why Casto didn't decide to challenge. So where are we? 1.5 laps now, with Elise looking to make a move on Rakan. Rakan on 7-lap mediums, moves to the outside, giving Elise some inside line. Elise braking very early there. Oh, Rakan running very wide. Compromises Elise's exit out of the chicane. We'll sit on board with Elise then. I think probably my favourite to win this race. So you see a buttload of cars going through the stadium section, but Elise right on the back of Rakan. Let's see, when will Elise push the trigger? He's already used all of his ERS deployment, because I think he wants to get ahead and get out before Pat gets the opportunity to get past Ollie. I think he knows that Pat is a very quick driver and will eventually get past Ollie. Doesn't want to be sitting for too long behind the Ferrari driver of Rakan and get a move done. Looks up the inside, but then thinks better of it. Bam! Alfa Romeo driver using up his ERS here. Down the back straight, down the DRS straight. We won't have DRS until the next lap. So. Great line there by Elise, who gets the jump shot on Rakan. And will he be able to hold this going into last one? He did break a lot earlier last time because he was off the line. And Rakan defending superbly, but he's going to have to see the position to Elise, who gets the inside line. And Pat up to third ahead of Ollie. Jim now up to fifth. And there is going to be one heck of a DRS train between first and eighth. Every single driver. Jim now up to fourth past Ollie. Did Ollie... Oh, there's been a collision between Jim and Ollie. Ollie's going to be right down to 13th, I would say, before he can recover. Yep. Very aggressive move there by Jim to get past Ollie. I'm sure there's going to be a complaint there. Let's see what happens. But DRS has now been enabled. Pat up to third, right behind Rakan, but Elise already out of DRS range of Rakan, who is going to be on some very warm medium tyres. Eicheldale fastest lap of the race with a 1:45.09. Rakan running wide there again. Pat, a great line, an opportunity to overtake to get up to second place for the race win in the McLaren. I'm sure he's going to make that happen. DRS wide open. And here goes the McLaren driver past the Ferrari and up to second. Rakan not giving up easily. Jim looking to make a pounce on it as well. Lucky not to lose his front wing there, but Rakan holding onto third for now. Okay guys, I'm just gonna no, I'm not gonna tune off, fuck it. Okay, I was gonna tune off and invite some people to do some comms with me, but it's all good. So where are we now? Pat, is he gonna be able to jump the 1 second gap to Rakan? I think so. And Jim right on the back of Rakan, so Rakan is gonna be defensive, still needing to pit. And what is going on here? The Ferrari driver really compromising the AlphaTauri, who is now also going to have to pit. Gino up to third now in the Red Bull. That was really bad driving by the Ferrari driver. It looked like he was intentionally trying to give the AlphaTauri of JimStrav damage. But Michael Day once again setting the fastest up. Gino up to third. And Jacko's going to have some defending to do. Casto and Mountain Swan both on his rear tail. I can imagine. Interestingly enough, Jim has chosen to go for the medium tyres. Rakan for the soft. So let's see what the drivers. Rakan, Jim did have wing damage, right, entering the pits right behind Rakan, but exiting 9 seconds behind him. Casto getting a move on Jacko into the chicane. Jacko running wide, compromising Mountain Swan, but he does manage to get the move done. Jacko all over the place with regards to lines. Is Mountain Swan going to get moved on Jacko? I don't think so. No. So Casto now up to fourth. His teammate Pat in second. 5.5 seconds down the road. Worth pointing out that Gino is on the hard tyres. So Casto should be able to close this relatively quickly. However, Gino will be looking to make those hard tyres last in the race. Do I think it's achievable? Yes. With 3 of those laps underneath the safety car, I think it is possible. Let's see what happens. Almost one very much having to get off the throttle there. Is this going to put Iniesta within the outer range? No, it does not, but it does close the gap, and it more importantly kicks Mountain Swan out of DRS action on Jacko, who is falling further behind. Wow, has something happened to Gino there? Because Casto, who was a few seconds behind Gino, is now ahead of him. So I think Gino has lost traction around the chicane section, and Casto has been able to make the move on Gino. So Gino now up to third, 6 seconds behind his teammate Pat. Gino and Casto on that pole medium, so he will need to pit again, as I'm sure Pat and Elise will, but we will see what sort of pace he can manage. So let's have a look. We've got JimStrav on coupe. JimStrav on coupe. Coupe looking to take the inside, but no. Oh, Casto 3-second penalty, the first of our podium runners to get a penalty, but this does match Gino in. But Spurs Crazy also picking up a 3-second penalty. The penalty's really started to rain in as the drivers try to regain opportunity. I think Spurs lost it at the last corner. Gino is out. What's happened there? He's sit on board with his teammate Ryan to find his teammate Spurs to find out. And it's another safety car. I can only imagine the likes of Casto will be pitting as well. Get on the hard tyres and make them last year. You got 16 laps on them. Street Boy has got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car, which he will have to serve 1 lap a minimum after the safety car coming back in. But Gino now out. Where is the Red Bull driver? I can't even see him. His car must have already been cleared up. Yes, his car's already been cleared up. That's the thing I don't know about this game, is that the car's been cleared up, but now we've got 2 laps of safety car ahead of us. So let's just sit on board. We've got a few drivers in the pits. Okay guys, I'm just going to tune out for a minute or two, or actually a couple of minutes, because I think I've got 3 more laps under the safety car, so I will be back in about 4 minutes, thank you. happens. Hi guys, I'm back. So, I mean, it doesn't look like the safety car is entering the pits, which is surprising because all of the drivers are within a 1 second gap of each other, but it looks like we have one more lap of this safety car race, which is lovely. I'm really going to enjoy that. Yeah, I'll be back. Thanks. Oh yay, we're back racing. Awesome. Okay, fantastic. See, Gino LeBron has DNF'd as well during that. But where are we now? So we're on board with Mantis Swan. Running very wide as I'm Niaza gets past Mantis Swan. Jim right on the back of Mantis Swan. Will he be able to follow his AlphaTauri teammate through? That is a no. Right now, Elise out in front of Elise already with a 1.6 second gap over Pat. I mean, wow, that is some going for one lap. So let's see what happens here. Whee! Brake. See, the sideboards have already been taken out, so drivers relying on their gut or on racing line. But Pat 1.6 seconds behind Elise, and Casto constantly gaining on Pat. 12 lap hold means I'm surprised he decided not to pit. And he has picking up another 3 second. What is Pat going to do here? Is he going to allow his faster teammate through? Or is he going to battle him? At the end of the day, Pat potentially has the opportunity to go to the end of the race, even if it would be 21 laps on mediums. I don't think Casto does. I don't think the mediums would last for 24 laps. So I think he should let his teammate through. But Casto getting it wrong out the third last corner. A decent line there. How about the last corner of the lap? Great drive line by the Casto there. And he needs to get the move done on his teammate quickly, who's falling further and further back from Elise now. 2.5 seconds in one lap. The Alfa Romeo driver absolutely storming this circuit. I mean, the speed of Elise, it's just absolutely phenomenal. 3 seconds up in a lap and a sector is an amazing achievement there by Elise. Wow. I mean, just wow. Decent line out of there, but we got Raka now right on the back of Casto. Casto also, noteworthy, has a penalty. He has a 3 second time penalty for corner cut, so he needs to get past his teammate sooner rather than later. And that's going to be another, as Casto gets 2 in 2 corners and picks up his second 3 second time penalty. Rakan also picking one up. Wow, Rakan picking one up out of that turn. That was very strict on the shooters, but understandable when we're racing at this level. Abu Dhabi do the final. Gino has, okay, that's the left. Okay, so let's have a look. Casto needs to get this move done on his teammate. Now 4 seconds behind Elisa. I don't personally think these medium tires are going to last the length. I also definitely don't think the softs are going to last. So I think everyone will be pitting. However, when you look at the fact that older drivers like Niaza, Coupe have only done 4 laps on these mediums, they're sitting in pretty right now. Now I'm sitting on board with Rakan, who running very interesting lines there through the chicane at the end of sector 1. We've got DRS. Is Casto going to be able to make a move on his teammate finally, which he needs to get done? He's got 5 seconds to catch up to Elise, but it does not look like he's able to catch up on his teammate Pat, breaking the slipstream by swerving. And Pat still staying in second there for the McLaren, but does get a very bad exit out of the chicane. Could this give Casto the opportunity to get past Pat? I don't think so, unless Pat yields early, which he doesn't. We are all drivers at the end of the day, and Casto is going to need to get this move done. I personally think the switchover is coming. Casto needs to get into the pits, onto the softs, and get the job done. Get fastest lap so that he can catch up to the rest of the drivers, because now is the time to really start making a stance. He's just sitting behind Pat. Understandable teammates, but 10 laps on the softs is doable around this circuit. Pat pitting after 11 laps on the medium, so Pat out of Casto's way. What is Casto going to be able to do? You can see Eichel Dale getting past Rakan on the inside. So Eichel Dale now up to 4th and catching up to Casto. Casto will not have DRS for the next sector, but Eichel Dale, unless he screws up next turn, will. Let's sit on board. There he gets to death from Eichel Dale, but gaining time on Casto. So he's going to be prime spot here to take second. And on 10 lap old mediums, doable? Perhaps. Depends on how well he can manage his tyres. Let's see. Button does not get the move done. I think he knows that if he does, he's going to be defending along this DRS straight, which can actually be so much more powerful because of the slow speed corner you're coming out of. Will he be able to get the move done here? I don't think so, but JimStrav on Rakan, I think this will be a move that gets done. So JimStrav on the inside of Rakan. We know Rakan breaks late, but is he going to give Jim the space? No, he's not. Defending superbly there by the Ferrari driver. And we now got Eichel there right on the back of Casto. I mean, wow. The two drivers all over the track. Casto going defensive. Eichel Deo. Good line there as we go through the sweeping corners of sector 3. Runs a bit wide there. It's going to cast an advantage out the turn. Now 6/10 of a second separating them. Jim, however, still on the attack with Rakan. Rakan now pitting for fresh tyres. He will go soft to the end. Jim, I imagine, will stay on the medium to the end. As we see Casto and Eichel Deo pit. So Jim now up to second. How long can Jacko? Aiden Black is off the session. Okay, that's fine. We've got several drivers in the pits. Jacko really having to get on the throttle here, with Spurs ever gaining 3/10 of a second now. I think this is going to be Spurs' opportunity to get up into the podium positions, and he's going to need to pull out a gap. However, saying that, Jacko will need to pit. There's no way he's making these soft tyres last 14 laps. And Spurs, what can he do here? The Red Bull driver, the only one left in the race. Moves to the inside, Jacko maintaining the race line. Spurs comfortably past. As we see Ollie! Ollie broke very late there, compromising his exit. Has he got damage? Getting very defensive here as we head 5 drivers within a second, and Ollie gets past Jacko. Up to 5th for Ollie in the Ferrari, who clearly did not get any damage, otherwise he would not have made that move stick. But Spurs now needs to pull it out. He's got half a lap to pull out for the DRS above Coupe on the same mediums. Now let's have a quick look at position change. Jim up 13 places. Spurs up 1, Coupe in up 2, but as we remember, Spurs dropping right to the back of the field on lap 1. So after a fantastic recovery, drive from Spurs to go from 4th to, I think it was 17th, and then up to 3rd. See if he can hold on. But the 3rd, 4th and 5th place drivers all having penalties. So let's have a look what the penalty situation is. Come in. Coupe is out. Oh wow. So have we got a safety car? No, we do not, but Coupe has lost it out of turn 4, and that has now given Spurs this lead he needs. He does not have. Are you going to bed? You going to bed? Okay. Brilliant. So Spurs now with a big gap over Ollie. Now we saw Coupe tied, but there were other drivers who were within DRS range, so maybe that caused a side-on effect. But Spurs now well clear, and we can see only has a 13 seconds of penalties. I'm surprised he's not pitted under safety cars to get some of them removed. I mean, wow. So let's sit on board. I want to sit on board with Jacko. Actually, I want to sit on board with Agniazza, who's just 6 tenths behind the Ferrari driver of Ollie. Both of them getting compromised exits out of that left-hand, right-hander. Towards the penultimate corner, just 6 laps to go. Ollie and Agniazza both pitting now. Agniazza's overrun it. Oh, I thought I was going to be collision with the wall. So now Jacko up to 4th. Casto setting the fastest lap of the race on 1:38 flat, up to 5th place, 6 seconds of penalties. He's got some moves to do. Pat, his teammate, 1.2 seconds behind him on the medium tyres. Casto has the pace and he has the ability to pull out these 6 seconds, I feel. He's going to have DRS. Pat will not. Pat will be defensive against Michael Dare, who will have it. Jacko running very wide out of turn. Casto already passed Jacko even before DRS, so will Jacko slot into his slipstream? Yes, he does. But with no ERS, is unable to combat. And Casto, 4 tenths ahead now. Good line there. 7 tenths now. 8 tenths, I'm going to say. No, 7 tenths. What a line there. Casto goes super defensive with his line, and he's going to save 4th spot. Now just 7 seconds for him to catch up to 3rd. I don't think that's possible, but he definitely has the pace to deliver 4th here. Michael Dare right behind. Jacko again runs wide, and Michael Dare in the Aston Martin is going to need to leave as Jacko has to take evasive action. He breaks early knowing he's going in tight to that corner. Michael Dare now 1.5 seconds behind Casto. Casto, our champion here in DRS Active League. And Casto, no, that is not a buzz to that, but Casto closing the gap to Spurs by a second over those 2 sectors. And Michael Dare is catching up to Casto. And Casto right now at risk of dropping to 6th. He's got to gain 3 seconds on his teammate in 5 laps. Possible, yes. But is he going to be able to drop Michael Dare? Michael Dare, who's now in DRS range. If he can hold it, he doesn't get DRS on this stream. But is he has been faster. He was 1.5 seconds behind when he overtook Jacko, who looks like he's now pitted. Excuse me, viewers. And we are heading around the last sector. Now, I must point out once again, at least, what a fantastic drive by the Alfa Romeo driver. I mean, it's a shame about his result in Jeddah. I'm presuming it didn't go well, otherwise he wouldn't be out of the championship race. So, but what a drive here by Elise at Abu Dhabi. And Michael Dare setting his fastest race just half a second behind Casto. I think Casto will get 5th. I don't see him dropping Michael Dare now. Michael Dare seems to have amazing pace around Abu Dhabi. 12 drivers remaining out of the 18 who started Grand Prix, and with the penalty situation as it is, Agniazza, I think the top 10 will remain as is, but however with position changes I don't see Agniazza catching up and passing Jacko and also gaining 15 seconds, so we'll see what happens. You never know, this is racing, so Casto losing out on the first DRS straight, but Icaldeo losing out on a second, and Casto remaining ahead of the Aston Martin driver. I think it is kind of a beautiful car, but just, yeah, I won't drive it. It sounds pretty good as well. So, well, we mounted one. It says opposition only as a has DNF. Thankfully not bringing out a safety car with 5 laps to go. But, oh, I want to watch this. Jim is really catching up to Elise. We could have a battle on our hands for first position here, guys. Oh, we're going to sit on board with Jim. Let's compare some times. Jim, right now we got a 1:40.9 for his last lap and a 1:42. Elise is currently lapping in a 1:42s. Jim in a 1:40s for the last couple of laps. So let's see, can the AlphaTauri driver lay down the gauntlet for season 2, telling Elise, you may be quick, but I'm better. Let's see. Let's see what the drivers can do. Spurs, I imagine without any catastrophe, will get third. However, Icaldeo is only 3.8 seconds behind him with no penalty. So if Icaldeo can keep this clean, who gets the move done on Casto down the long DRS straight, he will have to defend here. I'm laying off the DRS. I'm laying off the pass down the first straight because you have to defend the second straight. Casto, I don't think he's got enough here. No, he does not. And Icaldeo running wide, but the Aston Martin driver has now kept fourth place. 3.5 seconds behind Spurs Crazy. Spurs Crazy having a 3-second penalty. Let's see what the driver can do. Oh! Casto's binned it! He broke late and he binned it. Now right behind his teammate. Has this just cost Casto's 5th place as well? And a very aggressive late braking manoeuvre on Icaldeo. And Icaldeo definitely now has 4th. 3 seconds behind Spurs Crazy. Icaldeo is closing this gap like crazy on the freshest off the tyres. Let's see where we are with the tyre situation. Spurs on 12 lap old mediums. Icaldeo, I think he's going to get a podium today. I might have just given the commentator's curse, but I think Icaldeo will be getting it. As we see Jim making a move for the lead. Is he going to make it? Him and Elise are side by side going down the DRS straight. Elise has now tucked into his slipstream, moves to the inside, but Elise will have DRS down his second straight. However, Jim pulling out 7/10 just around that corner. This is going to be a monumental effort. Elise not even using the ERS. He's using his DRS, yes, but not his DRS. Like I said, Icaldeo really catching up to Spurs. Icaldeo, unless he puts a foot wrong in these next 2 laps, will get a podium. And I would love to see that for the Aston Martin driver. He's had some unfortunate instances this season whilst I've been doing comms, not because of that, obviously, but it'd be great to see the Aston Martin driver on the podium here at the season finale in Abu Dhabi. For me personally, no better way to go into the next season with a podium in the last race of that season. So let's see. But he's constantly a second he has closed on this lap. Jim now has got the second gap he needs over Elise to drop DRS. Sorry, and I think Jim's done the unthinkable. He has managed his tyres amazingly. At least choosing to do a one-stop strategy, but it has not worked out for him. Having started on pole, but losing out to Jim on 15 lap old medium. Maybe 20 laps is a bit too much for me, even with a couple of safety cars. And Jim, I think we're going to see Jim pulling away. We've got Icaldeo just 1.8 seconds behind Spurs. I think we are seeing our top 4 sorted now. Casto is going to drop down to 6th unless Pat makes a mistake, so it will be a 5-6 for the McLarens, just not as we're seeing it right now. Casto, is he going to get DRS here? No, he is not, but he will have it in the last lap. Using all of his DRS to keep up with Casto, but not able to. Casto on the faster tyres now. I believe the delta on these tyres is about 1 second around this track. So Casto making them work to keep his teammate out of reach, but Dale just 1.6 seconds behind Spurs, who's also actually catching up to Elise. And Elise is really dropping back. He's really struggling with these medium tyres. So, I mean, we got 3 seconds between Elise and Dale. Could this potentially be a huge upset? Dale 140.316. And Elise, what did he do last lap? A 142.7. So, I mean, this could potentially come down to the last lap. I'm not ruling out Dale here from if he's not going to get into DRS. Unfortunately, Spurs is. I think if Dale could have got into DRS there, he had a shot a second. But with just a 1 lap to go, we are going to sit on board with our race leader once we see the battle between Spurs and Elise form. Spurs going around the outside. He knows unless Elise makes a mistake, this won't count for anything. But Spurs taking second place there on track. He has got 3 seconds of penalties. And Elise is also. This is actually. Elise and Dale are tit for tat in terms of penalties. So is Dale on the very fresher soft tyres going to be able to make a move for potential second, as I called it at the start of the lap? Great line there by Dale in the Aston Martin, having to go for the brake, but is he going to be able to make a move here for second position? He's got 4 turns to do it. Taking some of the curb, Dale getting a much better exit. Is he around the outside least? And Dale gets 3rd position. With 2 corners to go, is the Aston Martin going to come across the line second? We've got Jim, who's about to cross the line to take the fastest lap here, take the win here at Abu Dhabi. But as I called it a lap ago, Dale in the Aston Martin up to 2nd place, at least losing 4 seconds on the Aston Martin in the last lap. Wow. I mean, I think we could tell those mediums had hit the cliff. It was some good tyre management by Elise, but as the fastest, potentially one of the fastest drivers on the track, he should. I think he made Lewis Hamilton. I hate to say it, but I think Dale did a max. Fresher soft tyres compared to Elise's very worn mediums. I know Lewis was on the hards, but what a lap by Dale to get 2nd place on the podium. A fantastic result for the Aston Martin driver. And that is the end of. And we're going to watch Mount Swan in my favourite car crossing the line to finish off the season here for DRS Active League. Now, to commentate, guys, I'm going to be honest. I joined this league off of Facebook. I saw the ad from Matt, and as a commentator, I have so enjoyed the action, and I cannot wait to do content with you guys for your Sundays throughout the season. We've got 3 months of amazing racing coming up. JimStrav taking the win, but Casto having already sealed the championship. We can see Dale has taken 2nd and Elise in 3rd. But Jim, with the big champagne bottle, the AlphaTauri team out to celebrate, and we've got a Greek driver 1st and 2 Brazilians 2nd and 3rd. So that concludes the 1st season of the DRS Active League, and what some amazing racing. I have thoroughly enjoyed commentating on the races I have done, and I hope everyone has enjoyed my commentary on these races. So I'm going to run through the order one last time. We got Jim in 1st, Dale in 2nd, Elise in 3rd, Spurs demoted to 4th, Pat in 5th, Casto in 6th, our champion for the season, also claiming the fastest lap on a 1:38 flat. Rakan in 7th, Ollie in 8th, Jacko in 9th, Street Boy gaining another point finish, with Mounted Swan finishing in 11th position. So guys, this is Pete W. I will say that it has been an honour commentating for you guys for the part of the season I have done, and I cannot wait to rejoin you for season 2 here in the DRS Active League. I intend to be around for Tuesday with the Purple Sector League, but I'm not 100% yet, so I will let you know. However, I will be back next Sunday for DRS Active for round, if we are back next Sunday. If we are, fantastic. But I will be back then. So guys, have a great evening. Thank you so much. And this is Pete W signing out. So guys, have a great weekend. Take care. And I'll see you next week. Bye.